quarter kid. Young nigga need 40 B's, I just put up on them in my Jordan 3s. Growing up, I ain't had much, cause my grandma couldn't afford a thing. Now she got nothing to worry about, all to my Jordan 3s.
You are now tuned in to another official episode of Untrappedthepodcast. Today we got a very, very special guest, and we're going to get this man the flowers he deserves for sure. We're talking about the Vince Lombardis, the Bill Belichick's, but he's the Vince Lombardi and Bill Belichick of Dover. Give it up for Coach Ron Moore.
How you doing, Flash, man? Glad to be here, baby.
We good. But we're gonna get into it, man. I'm letting you know from the community of Dover, we definitely enjoy your passion and love you got for youth football, for sure.
Much appreciated, man.
For sure.
The love goes back to y'all.
For sure,
You
but
guys
we gotta get into it. We know the face, we know the man, but we don't know the story, man. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you come from?
My name is Ron, obviously, as y'all know. I came up, grew up in Rodney Village all my life, born and raised in Dover, Delaware. Rodney Village till I was 17. Moved out to Star Hill for a few years. Got married, moved up. Had some kids early, man. By the time I was 18, I had a son. Kind of changed my life. I had a trajectory. I was going to try to go to school and play some football, whatever. But obviously, with things that happened, I had to change that. I had to go hit the workforce just like everybody else did. Do what I had to do to make ends meet, and basically raise my son. So my goal always was to go back and coach and try to do something with it. So it's kind of maintain that. But had little shit jobs, whatever. Had to go work at video scene and make ends meet. Moved up from there, started doing some maintenance stuff. Got with one of my friends' dads who started teaching me a little bit about plumbing, little minor electric, little minor carpentry. Did that for a little while to the point where I went and got into union electric. So it kind of changed my life. It gave me something more, some more bread, some more money, some benefits, and some more things for my family. So, that's what I've been doing ever since. Electric.
Gotcha. So what grew your love for the passion of football?
Well, obviously it was something I did starting at 10 years old. I played football pretty much through my school years, loved it. Really didn't take it serious until I got to be a junior or a senior. Then I really realized what I had with the size I had and really understood the game. But with football, it was just, I always played basketball, baseball. I was decent, but I wasn't great. Gotcha. Football was something that I could go out there, and as long as you just wanted to make them pads crack, he was efficient.
Yeah.
It was easier for me than having a basketball skill like some of my friends did. I didn't have. I just had the height. But football was just an easier route for me because all you had to do was be physical.
Yeah.
So I grew to love it, especially when I was a little rough when I got older anyway. And I kind of enjoyed the fact that, you kind of got praised for being physical and being a little aggressive instead of society always telling you to tone it down. And I really enjoyed being praised for physical. So it was something that I gravitated to. And then with coaching, my son, by the time he got 5 years old, I put him out in football right over here in Camden where we all went.
Where it all started.
And the coach was terrible. He wasn't doing nothing, no disrespect, but he just wasn't doing the things so I took over coaching, and that's why I've been doing it now for 27 years.
27 years, that's a long
27
time.
years.
How old are you?
I'm 49 years old.
Wow, you're looking, man. You're not looking. Yeah. So what position did you play in high school?
I played tight end predominantly, and then I was defensive end as well.
Gotcha. You had a pretty good squad?
Man, I came through with Jaron Hall and Mike Harris and Demetrius Stevenson and Mike Charlton and that whole we was good.
That was good.
Yeah, that was good. We came right behind Mark Harris and all them who won a state championship. So yeah, definitely. We had a great squad. Plus all of us played since junior high all the way up.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was definitely physical.
So how would you compare football from when you were coming up to now, minus the rules and everything, like the attitudes, the personalities of the sport and everything like that?
Well, it's hard to judge because now a lot of football has been taken away from you.
Gotcha.
Back in the day, they didn't have the concussion protocols. They didn't have, couldn't touch a receiver. You couldn't do the crackback blocking. Back when we played, we did all that.
Yeah.
That was wonderful. That was why we played the game. So, obviously every group that comes through, you're going to say, oh, they wasn't as good as me. They wasn't as good as us. Like the kids from nowadays would say that y'all wasn't nearly as good as they are. And you're going to say,
we
the crank y'all.
Yeah.
And I feel the same way about when we was growing up. But back then, us growing up, not to sound ancient or anything, but we didn't have the social media. We didn't have the cell phones at our convenience.
Mm-hmm.
So all we had was each other. We got home from school. We were scared to sit in the crib for 10 minutes because if we didn't get out and get with the crew, we wouldn't know where he was at.
Yeah.
We had to go find him. So we was always together from morning to night because you had to be. You getting on the bike, going finding your boys, whatever. You didn't have the phone. So now everything is so fast and so easy. It's easy to set home.
Yeah.
You flip open, you look at the phone, you put on FaceTime, you put on social media, you're with everybody no matter where you're at. So,
yeah.
Like I'm going to say, legitimately, back in the day, we was outside from crack of dawn to evening time.
Yeah.
So we were more physical. We were more in shape. We didn't sit around. We didn't do nothing but go outside and do what we had to do. Come in to eat, back out the door. Come in, take a shower, sleep, wake up the next morning, do the same thing. So times are definitely different. But then with that, you got nowadays, kids have all the training.
Yeah.
We didn't have none of it. We was out doing it ourselves. Now you got the training places all over the place. You got better facilities. You got everything at your accessibility. Now you just got to not be lazy and take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Basically. Or, get there and put the work in. We had none of that. So football back in the day, much more rough, much more aggressive. But I would say that the athletes are more athletic.
Yeah.
They're more athletic because they're coming from, and it seems like everybody's tall now. Back in the day, like I was one of maybe 3 or 4 kids in the high school that was 6'4", 6'5". Now it's like everywhere you look, kids are 6'2", 6'6". Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like everybody's a lot taller nowadays. So, and faster. They're getting that technical stuff from the training. So, we might have been rougher. We're gonna play with concussion.
Yeah.
I'm quite sure I had 5 or 6 concussions, right? And I'm not proud of that, but I might have had it at some point. Boomer, our quarterback, I'd be in the huddle and he have to tell me, yo, Ron, we're on the right side of this play because I wouldn't even know which way was right and left.
Yeah.
Right? Now you got all that stuff being monitored. So, and it's for the better, actually. I don't want people growing up like me. But, but nah, everything. And even you got, with the way coaches now, high school coaches, junior high coaches, they got people in the booth. You got people up top. You got offensive coordinators up top calling the game.
Yeah, like it's crazy.
Because of the communication factor. We didn't have none. You know what I mean? We didn't have it. So everything is faster. Everything is much faster. And they throw the ball now. We ran the ball to set up pass plays. Yeah. Now they're passing the ball, RPOs, everything is fast. So, it's a lot more athletic. You got 7-on-7 now. We never had 7-on-7 back in the day. Now the kids are having an opportunity to go out there and play 7-on-7 for 5 or 6 months prior to the season to work on the pass and work on the run and the catch and defending the pass. Like, it's so crazy the opportunities that everybody has now to get better. Yeah. You just have to capitalize on it and not be lazy. Yeah. So, it's definitely changed. If I was to say we line up my team with the teams now, we're going to run it down their throat. They're going to have to learn they would have to stop it.
They would have to learn how to tackle.
They would have to really put their shoulders in there and take on a bunch of lead blocking and some tough running. But we would run around looking crazy trying to defend the pass. Yeah. So just as, it's that old case, we would have to slow the cop down, maintain possession, and they would just be airing it out, putting touchdowns up. Yeah. So where do you fit in? How does that work? I can't say. I'd like to say we would bust their ass, but I know I wouldn't have been able to defend some of these receivers nowadays, and the quarterbacks get the ball to them. So it's definitely a different age.
Yeah. So your son drives you to youth football, and then as your son is growing older, you also gaining more kids underneath you, and then like as it's going, the love is growing. So it's like the passion is just building and building and building. So what made you keep to it? Because I remember I played for the red team flag. You was coaching black, so
Right.
you done been all through it. That's why I say you like the Vince Lombardi of the Camden, Wyoming field,
Right.
because you done won on the flag aspect all the way to the older kids. So it's like you,
Well, back in the day around here, it was the rivalries.
yeah,
You know what I mean? You had the inner squad. It was like a rec league, but we didn't know it was a rec league. That was all we knew.
Yeah.
Travel football was kind of unheard of,
Yeah.
especially for this area. So it was all about, was the Redskins going to be able to beat the Packers?
yeah, and I
The
was a
Packers
Redskin.
that week.
Yup.
You know what I mean? Was Gene going to be able to get his boys up to the task to beat the Packers?
Yeah.
And that was the premier game. And then you had a couple other rivalries out there. Pretty much in my memory bank, it was Redskins Packers.
Always Redskins Packers.
Redskins Packers. Gene against Ron. Who was going to do it? And then he got some coaches, Brooks and Moses and Terrell and all those kids. And then I
Yeah.
had Jumps and I had, Mike Harris and I had my crew. And it was kind of like, it was a great thing. So my son obviously went through that and graduated and moved on to junior high football and lacrosse and everything else. But I just love the kids. I
Yeah.
couldn't let it go. As I'm walking down the street or I'm walking in Walmart or whatever, I see the kids, I couldn't let them. I felt like I had a lot to give.
Yeah.
And I was always just one more championship. Get this group of kids. Oh, I see this kid down there. He's 7 years. And that is what kept me going. I would see the 7, 8-year-olds really blowing it up down at Flag. I'd be like, oh, I can't wait to get my hands on them. Talk to their parents who got him. He's going to come play for you.
Yeah.
So now it just kept on rolling.
Recruiting. Yeah.
The talent just kept coming. I think that back in the day, maybe 15, 20 years ago, if I ever had a year where I didn't have no talent or I didn't have the kids wanting to come play for me,
Yeah.
I probably would have said, you know what I mean, I'm going to hang it up and go get that extra overtime at work instead of giving it back to the community so much.
Yeah.
But luckily for me, blessed 27 years now, every year, even to now, I see kids, they want to come play for Kent County. They wanted to come play for the Stallions. They wanted to come play for the Packers. It just kept driving me, and I couldn't let them down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's years that I lost some smoke.
Yeah.
That I thought to myself, it's almost time. Then I see them kids, man, and I couldn't let them down. And still to this day, man, I've been in it a long time, but I can't imagine life without those kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They really make a lot of people say, man, you give back. How do you keep giving back? And they give me as much joy as I get from it. They give it to me. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't be who I am without the kids of this community for so many years like y'all, man. I'm not saying that to be sappy. It really is true. My wife even said, you really have a passion for this.
Yeah.
Although she wants me home a lot of times, especially on those weekends when we're traveling in New Jersey, Philly, wherever we're at, Saturday and Sunday. But she understands. It's not just coaching. It's a literal passion.
Yeah.
I have to be around those kids.
And it's like the fast forward from the Camden, Wyoming League a little bit. You do something that a lot of parents can't do. So like, it's more appreciative even to not just the kids, but the parents. You taking these kids out of state. They never if it wasn't for you, some kids would never get off of Route 1, Route 13, never
Right.
see Florida. Like, and it's like, wow, like when you set in and you get older, you think about like, yeah, Coach Ron really did that for us. Like he really elevated us. He really took us these places. Like you never know where life is going to turn. So it's like we really got to see that before we was even yay high. So it's like that's a great thing.
A funny story to go with that. About 8 or 9 years ago, me and Quan and I think James Kilby and us, we took a group of kids down to Virginia for a Thanksgiving tournament.
Yeah.
And we was at the hotel, and we got a hotel right on the beach. So one morning, we made all the kids get up, and we did a polar bear plunge out in the beach water.
Yeah.
And it was amazing because we took, I think it was probably about 50-some kids down there or so. I think it was 2 units, if my memory serves me right. And there were at least 6 or 7 kids that went down and got in the water, and they had never been in the beach. They had never been on the beach in the beach water. And that's crazy to me because we live 45 minutes from Rehoboth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where there's a beach right there, but that was literally the first time some of them kids had jumped in water. And we're right in Virginia.
Yeah.
And that was kind of eye-opening, but it was a great experience. I mean, it was something for those kids and for us to do certain things like that. And they'll remember that forever. Going down to that beach, jumping in the cold water, and the coaches jumping in with them. Man, it was cold as shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they're going to remember that forever. But like you said, it's definitely opportunities given these kids. For now, back when y'all played, we was playing football for 2.5 months.
Yeah.
Now we start workouts next week, weekend workouts, and we don't end until nationals. It ends the 12th of December.
Yeah.
So we're literally playing football or doing football related stuff 10 months a year. And then, like I said, we got Team Harm, the 7-on-7 program. We got flag football, so it's literally just going and going and going.
Yeah.
But let me ask you something. You talk about opportunities, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's think back to the Camden League.
Okay.
Right? You had the Eagles,
mm-hmm.
you had the Steelers, you had the Packers, you had the Redskins. What do you think would have happened if I had done what I'm doing now earlier, and I could have took the 30 best kids back then from all those teams?
It would have been.
It made a traveling team.
They would have been top 5 in the nation for sure.
Every year.
Every year.
It might have been worse than that.
Yeah.
We might have been making a run for nationals every year.
Every single year for sure.
Because you take the top 7 from the Redskins, the top 7 from the Packers, the top 7 from the Eagles, top 7 from the Ravens, right? It's a hell of a squad.
Yeah.
And we just waited. I really kicked myself in the ass because I feel like I waited about 5 years too late to do it, because I really could have had some national championship teams from that 10 to 12-year-old bracket.
Yeah.
Believe me.
And that was, like growing up, that was something to live for. Like all week in school, you just talking about going out to Camden League, talking about going to Peakfield, man. It's just like you staying up all night on Fridays waiting for Saturday morning. That's like something to live for. Now for a whole bunch of kids, like even the coaches, like they carry like the NFL. The coaches is going back and forth chirping and everything like that, because it's all passion. And like now it's like everything is more technical. Like the kids today never know, like they get the travel ball, but it's like your best friend may play for the Packers, but it's like just that passion, knowing like y'all really about to rock out on Saturday, and it was just something about that joy. Like everybody, this was played. It was no dick sporting good. It was played against sports. Everybody piling up at play against sports, like going to buy their little neat. It was different. That's what I'm saying. The kids that they so
spoiled. Swag y'all had was wristbands.
Yeah, wristbands. Fucking pink socks in October.
You didn't have nothing that they have nowadays.
We didn't have no girdles. That's another thing. We didn't have girdles.
Integrated fitness, with the snaps.
Yup. We had knee pads. We got to put in the knees, hip pads, and a butt pad, and you rocked out.
That was it.
But it was like one of the things, like, life hits us now, and it's like, think back, like, man, that was one of the best times of my life. And that's for a lot of people and a lot of kids, because it was like we didn't have no worries. We weren't facing the system, or we wasn't facing death. So it's like, man, like you just think back on stuff like that. It's like, man, that was a hell of a time.
For sure, absolutely. And just imagine, like you thought going to Camden was big.
Yeah.
Imagine you and 25 of them getting ready to load up and go to Philly.
Yeah.
Go to New Jersey, go to Maryland, go to Tennessee, going down to Virginia, going down to Florida for a week. Can you imagine a group of y'all going down to Florida for a week? Like that's where it's progressed to. And it's just opportunities, but it's actually getting these kids ready and prepared for not so much high school, because high school around here is still just
just high school,
but getting prepared for college. It's kind of that same feel where you get to go out there and you get to hit and you get to play other states where you don't know any of the kids. You ain't talked to them. You don't know nothing about them. It's just war. Who's going to be the better team? You
don't care how that person feel when you hit them or nothing like that. And then it's like you just come back to it like, boom. You keep, like, for example, say that the Kent County team play a team in Florida. They keep playing. Every year y'all signing up to play them. Now it's time for high school. They lose track, then boom. Somebody got a big offer from that same Pop Warner team. Now they got one too. They link up in college like, yo, man, we used to play you every year. That's crazy. And it's just how it is,
Absolutely. Me working at DSU, some of the kids come in there from Jersey. And I actually have students every year who's on the football team like, yo, don't you coach Kent? Yo, we played you when we was up and we played for what? And it's cool. You know what I mean? They remember, they understand, like their vision of football is so vivid that they remember who was on the other side of the field coaching against them. Their awareness is up. You know what I mean? And they love it. And it makes me feel good when they recognize me too. You know what I mean? I don't always remember them, unfortunately, but they do. So it's cool, man, to get out there and so much. Not just ours, but everywhere. And
Yeah.
then through that, we built friendships, genuine friendships with other organizations.
Yeah.
I got some organizations like Coach Magic over in Baltimore. I got Coach Poole down in Fredericksburg. Like I got some really good, upstanding mentors. Really get back to the community in other states that I would have never known. These are good dudes.
Yeah.
And they're just absolute the best, top tier coaches, mentors, and I found them through football. So it's not just the players that do it. I'm getting the same thing. I'm getting it from knowing these coaches, and I can call them, and I know every year I get to take my team to go play Fredericksburg, and they're going to come play us, and it's a war.
Yeah.
You better be ready. You know what
Yep.
I mean? And that's friendships that are gained, man, not just for the kids, but me and my coaching staff. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. Really look out for each other. Yeah.
So let me ask you this. It's time for the scoop now. Who's your top 5 kids you ever coached?
You're not going to do that to me. You just asked me the top 5.
Top 5, no order.
Oh, my God. First off, let me put this out there. There's going to be a lot of folks married. Ooh, wee.
And then after that, we're going to get into the best positions. We got to do that just to
Best
make it a little fair.
position.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Top 5. First off, let me put out there that I've put through thousands of kids through this program, right? So
Thousands.
Thousands.
I'm
Literally,
talking
not hundreds, thousands.
Stallions, King County, Chicken Gang, Packers, Black Team, everything.
We're going to go with tackle football from the beginning to now, and some kids that stand out, and they might not have been the best, but they stand out in my mind because they either changed the way the game was played, they changed the way the team was. So first off, I'm going to go with James Landry. He was on my first winning year team where we went undefeated, and he really changed everything around. He was just so long and tall and fast and physical. James Landry. Then right alongside him is my nephew, my right-hand man, my Mr. Everything for football is Quan Harris. So big, physical, fast, and he understands how to really make kids pay and run behind the shoulder pass where a lot of kids were scared of that.
Yeah.
Man, I'm going to leave so many kids out, man. I feel terrible. Of course, Demai Gibbs. Just track speed with aggressiveness that nobody wanted to deal with on both sides of the ball. You had Elijah Banks, who kids didn't want to play. Oh, man. And that's just the old groups.
Yeah.
That's just the old groups. And I got to bounce forward a little bit. And you had Jordan Robinson was a killer on both sides of the ball. Nobody wanted to deal with him. You had a kid, Isaiah, who played for me down in the Milford area. I can't remember Isaiah's last name. He ended up playing for Lake Forest, got some concussions. I mean, he had offers from Alabama and everywhere else. Absolute dog. Jordan Henry, quarterback. Juju, maybe the best quarterback ever came through the whole program, hands down.
Yeah.
Him and Josh Way, top 2 quarterbacks we ever had. Little bro.
Yeah.
I know I'm up at, I've got to be at 7 or 8 now.
Yeah, you
right?
like
But
8.
you got little bro. You got some dynamic players that was around them. Meek. You got B. Akil.
Yeah.
I mean, these are all top class players. But I guess if I had to say my top 5s, I'm going to go with James Landry, probably Quan, Demai Gibbs, little bro, and me.
Got you. Okay. Respectable,
That's a hell of a unit.
Yeah.
But then I'm torn because I'm an old lineman.
Yeah.
And I'm only talking about the skills. You know what I mean? But I've had some hella linemen too.
Yeah.
So shout out to all the linemen that ever played for me. And I love y'all. Can't get nothing done without the linemen.
For sure.
But those boys were special. Definitely.
For sure. So, as everybody gets older, you push them from 5 to 14, things are starting to change, The passion is still there, but the kids are getting older. So now they're going into high school and the routes are changing. So it's like, the politics in the city. There's no reason why nobody from the Stallions should have been a head coach.
We're going through that right now. Actually,
going through that as we speak. Yes.
Today, it's a major topic on social media, and especially within the Kent County organization. And pretty much, let's keep it a stat: the entire community, the entire Black community, the entire community in general, right now is going through some things. Because I'm gonna be the one to sit on here and say it. It might not be popular, but Caesar Rodney made a bad decision today.
Yeah,
that's our alma mater. I went there. Juan Harris went there. I mean, and I might be straying off, and if I am, tell me.
You're fine.
They really made a bad decision today, and I'm going to sit here and I'm going to say it. And I think that you call it politics. I'm going to take it a step further. And I think that it was an injustice what happened today. You got a kid from the community who lives and dies blue and gold, been giving back to the community for 10 years now. Some of the best talent has came from his tutelage. He trains. He's got his hands on so many kids. It's not even about just the coach and position and getting paid to do it. It's his passion. He does it for free.
Yeah.
And Caesar Rodney had an opportunity to bring on Juan Harris as their head coach for varsity and bring countless amounts of student transfers over. I'm talking about some of the best talent in the area, willing to come over there, a coaching staff that's willing to rock with them in the community, and they chose another route. Why they chose it, I'm sure they'll have their reasons, but I think we all know why he didn't get it, and I think it's because of the color of his skin. And we're in 2023, and that's just not how things are supposed to go. And they definitely didn't. I mean, I'm not going to slander the guy that they picked because I don't know him personally. But when you talk about the community back and you're talking about high school football games, attendance, you're talking about the people that are going to show up in the stands and support. You're talking about a program over there that hasn't won a football game in 3 years. They're defeated.
Yes.
Literally, they're defeated. So I think the students, I think the fans, I think the faculty, I think everybody deserves a coach like Quan, who's going to fill the stands with fans who actually really support the game and these kids.
Yeah.
Not to mention, no shade to nobody, but there are kids in Caesar Rodney that are walking the halls right now that aren't playing football. They didn't play football this year. And now they don't even intend on playing football next year because of the coach.
Yeah.
They don't believe in the coach. They don't believe in the coach that was there. I don't know if they're going to believe in the coach that's coming. I hope they do. Because it's kind of disgraceful that Caesar Rodney, school that I grew up in, school that all of us grew up in, which was a powerhouse in Henlopen, literally a powerhouse, fall to defeated seasons with no wins in 3 years. And I guarantee that if Quan was in there, that would have changed. They would have automatically had the athletes coming in. Everybody that's in the halls would have had a rejuvenated sense to want to play football, and they would have got back on track. I'm hoping it does, but I'm skeptical.
For sure.
They made the wrong choice today. How do you feel about it? I mean, being from the community, not a coach or not somebody who has ties to Quan, but you know what's going on a little bit, I'm sure. I mean,
for sure.
You've been seeing social media today. I mean, what's the general consensus from you and other people like you out on the streets that are hearing it? What do you think?
I think it all falls back to what you say. You think about it. What did Dover High go to when they had nowhere to turn for the state championship? Coach Quan's playbook, right or wrong.
And they brought him in, ironically, to bring on student athletes that were talking about leaving Dover to go and play for Smyrna or Tatnall or wherever else to keep those students there and to bring in some more. And he did that.
Yeah.
He did that.
For sure. And it's a different feel. Like I was telling you off air, it's like, imagine if we had Coach Quan down the hall, we can go talk to Coach C, Coach Ron. A lot of lives would have been saved. We're in a different generation now. This generation is they're more vulnerable, but my age group, we were more like reality struck. So we were dealing with harder problems. I'm not taking away from these kids at all.
Support because I have a black-owned business. I'm not even asking for any special treatment because I have a black-owned business. I'm asking for your support because I developed a superior product, no matter who you ask, that stands on its own. And it's a black-owned business. Run tell that.
But our problems came steep. These kids were more sheltered. They had more shelter and more of a blanket over us. We was already prepared for reality. We knew we didn't know what was coming after that. So when we leaving y'all programs, we're getting handed to people that don't give a fuck about us,
Don't know you.
don't know us, don't care to know us. They just want to win. They don't care if we don't got nowhere to go after practice.
But number one, did they have the coaching ability to make you guys win?
No.
That's what you have to ask yourself. Number one, did they have the coaching ability to get you guys to win? And did they have the mentorship or the communication skills with people outside of their own kind to put you to the test and make you want to run through a wall for you?
That's facts.
Would they run through a wall? Are they willing to give everything? Are those kids willing to take a little bit of pressure from their coaches? Because we're rough coaches.
Yeah.
We're rough. We're going to give it to you. We're going to push you to the limits, and we're going to get everything out of you. And when you mess up, we're going to really give it to you. But when you do great, we're your biggest fans. We're going to give and take. We're going to give it, and we're going to take it. And you know, at the end of the day, we really love y'all.
Yeah.
And we rock with y'all. We know your situation. A lot of my coaches, just like I was saying earlier, a lot of our coaches and the kids that came through, I know exactly where y'all live.
Yeah.
I know your mom and your dad's name. I know your sister and your brother's names. These coaches don't know that. So automatically your mindset is, those coaches knew everything about my family. These coaches don't know anything. And they don't rock with us.
Yeah.
I can't go talk to them. You could have came and talked to any of us coaches. Probably still could. Hell, we're doing it right now.
Yeah. And understand and y'all will understand.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Because we've been there.
Yeah.
We are from the same spots that you're from. We've been through the same things. Not to mention, you talk about, we have kids from 5 years old up to 14.
Yeah.
By the time we release that same child to either it be junior high or high school, you're talking about the pressures that come along with a kid from 14 to 18 years old.
Yeah.
And that's steep. That's a lot of pressure on a child. Just with school, with family, with females or males, whichever one it might be, with drugs, with all the pressure that comes along. And now you've got such other gang-related issues. You've got everything on these streets that are pulling a kid. Really, and I say a kid, even though a kid 15, 16, 17, you're still a baby.
You're still a baby.
You're still my baby.
For sure.
You know what I mean? I got 30-year-old folks that come up to me and they're my babies.
Yeah.
Pressures are steep and they don't know how to deal with that, or you're quick to deal with that at 16, 17 years old. Family life might not be all intact. Might not have everything you need. Don't have nowhere to turn. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Are you worried about football and that coach that don't really know you? It's tough. It's tough. And I'm not speaking for every child, because some kids have benefits that others don't.
Yeah, for sure.
But then there's a lot of kids that don't, especially from this area.
Yeah.
I can't name too many kids right off the top of my head that I know currently that both parents are either together or both parents aren't working and can barely get them to practice and come and watch their games because they're trying to make ends meet at the home front.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a special circumstance when those parents can be at practice and the games, and it's rare. It's rare. Pressure. And, I have some feedback from the school system, and a lot of times it seems like now the school system just wants to, if a kid isn't doing exactly what they're supposed to, or they get in trouble a little bit, it's just expel them.
Yeah.
Expel them, suspend them, expel them. They're not even giving them a chance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of these kids just need a shoulder to lean on, or someone to talk to. And again, not to brag or boast about my nephew, but Quan actually is changing that.
Yeah.
He's doing some things in that Dover system where he's giving those kids an opportunity to have somebody like that. So outside of football, we all would want him to be there. But outside of that, he's also making a change within the school system by being a disciplinarian. He's giving them just a little slack. And sometimes that's all they need, to know somebody actually cares.
Yeah.
And is going to say, okay, let's change this before we do this. Which, it's necessary.
Yeah.
It's necessary for sure. It's a lot of pressure, man. A lot of pressure. And now social media. Everything is so fast. You know what I mean? kid don't do something or looks a certain way or doesn't have what everybody else has, or God forbid gets in a fight, back in our day, no one would know about it unless somebody talked about it.
Yeah.
Now, as soon as things happen, it's out
It's
there.
recorded,
it's on there for the whole world to see.
Yep.
And that's why kids are doing what they're doing, man. They can't face the reality of what's going behind social media.
Yeah.
It's too fast. It's too fast.
And then I know it can become like I said, they all leave, so like kids grow up, so like then it's like then we at the point where like any day now you just like, man, I can get one of those calls, one of my babies locked up or one of my babies is going for good. And it happens. It happens for sure.
It's happened far too much.
Yeah, way too much.
Far
yeah.
too much.
And it all goes back to that high school system because it was like it's just like it's like my thing. Okay, for example, let me say this. I made a statement on Twitter where I was like, Coach Wilson for Dover High basketball team put more players in jail than he did college.
How'd that go? I know Coach.
Yeah, yeah.
I know him personally. So how did that go?
It went mixed ways. Like some people felt the same way and others felt different. Like others' response was, all he is a basketball coach. He don't got nothing to do with what they do outside of school. And that was from people close to him.
Right.
So I'm like, what gave you the audacity to say that? Like, you know what a coach is? Like, or like me, you know, it's like I'm a player, so and I think a little different. So I'm like, all you can say is he's a coach. He don't got nothing to do with what goes outside of what's not dealing with basketball. You think about it, a coach is a father figure to a lot of kids that don't have fathers. And 95% of the kids don't have fathers.
Sure.
So it's like, in order for you to say that, that's just like crazy. Like, so he just a coach just for basketball. Like, you got to help him make it make sense. And it's like, I don't blame him or put nothing on him, but it's like a cycle. You think about players that were crazy good on the court, but it's like, basketball season over. I see you next basketball season. I'm gonna talk to you in the midst of that. And I may be wrong, you know, but it's just like it's a cycle.
But you're talking about an 8 or 9 month stretch.
Yeah.
So if basketball is their thing, basketball is for 3.5 months, unless they're playing, AAU during the summers or whatever. But it could be 9 months before that coach sees that player again.
But just like you said,
you going for 9 months.
You going for 10 months with your kids, and that like you said, you could be doing overtime, but that shows that you care. Get them kids in study hall after school, or get them doing. It's easy to call up some AAU coaches, like line it up, like you build the bridge from AAU to school. Like people do it all the time. Like it would have been that. Like I said, if the politics and the injustice wasn't involved with the Stallions, it would have been that, and everybody knows that. And it would have been totally different. Like it's just with that situation, it's just like.
I mean, we was talking about it earlier. Can you imagine the output of one school system? Let's say we have kids from 5 to 14 years old, and then that same system in place or coaching staff be at junior high and high school.
Yeah.
So then you potentially could have a kid from 5 years old. What is that? 3rd grade? No, 2nd grade?
No, 5 years old, kindergarten.
We start with 5. Okay, so kindergarten, 1st grade, we'll call it.
Yeah.
So you have a kid from 1st grade to a senior at high school, all playing the same football rotation, the same coaches, the same plays, the same design, the same system, everything the same. It's hard to beat that team.
Yeah.
And that's where Delaware is at a deficit because the IAA, they don't allow certain things like that. They infringe upon the feeder systems. They infringe upon these high school head coaches being affiliated with youth football programs.
Yeah.
But yet right across the bridge over in Baltimore, they cherish that.
Yeah.
That's how they do it. Every coach has a feeder system, a youth football program just like ours that is force feeding that high school. So essentially it's just like I said, you got kids from 1st grade playing with each other all the way through a senior. Same system, same coaches. How do you beat that team?
Like that's how Troy Haynes, RIP to him. That's how that Woodbridge team was. They played since they was kids, but they had a coach at the high school level that understood the assignment.
Right.
And with Dover, they try to make Dover CR Raiders. That was never supposed to be. That was supposed to be divided. That was definitely supposed to be divided, knowing the rivalry and everything. Like it's just one of the things, like you said. Imagine if you could have put all them Redskins and Packers and Eagles and Steelers together. It would have been crazy.
You had no weaknesses.
Yeah, it would have been no weakness.
You had, and competition at practice would have been first team on first team.
Yeah.
And the kids that wasn't was fighting for that spot. And the way that those kids were, they wouldn't have accepted second string
At all.
So can you imagine the practices? A kid isn't going to miss practice. There's no kid going to miss practice because he knows as soon as he misses practice, he lost his spot.
Yeah.
And then when he comes back, he's got to play 3 times as hard to get his spot back. The competition is crazy, and you could still have that, but there's rules in place in Delaware that don't allow it. And it's crazy because how can you contend with St. Francis and some of these teams that have that?
Yeah.
Right across the bridge, you talk about 45-minute drive, they're doing it.
Yeah.
But over here you can't. You're at a deficit. And they call it recruitment infractions. They call it whatever they want to call it through the bylaws of DIAA. But how? 45 minutes that way, they love it.
Yeah.
And we're winning. There's no secret as why St. Francis is top 3 in the country most every year because they've got feeder programs to math and every one of them. They're all doing it.
Yeah.
I spoke about it earlier. My buddy Coach Poole from Fredericksburg, he force feeds AIG. You know what I mean? And they're top in the country every year.
Yeah.
But they have people feeding them kids. Why can't some of these schools around here catch up? They won't help out at all. I've been coaching for 27 years. I've literally gotten 1 year. One coach, Dante, gave us some football pants. 27 years, I had one coach give us some football pants. Shout out to Dante for doing that. No one has given us a practice facility. Nobody has reached out and said, you can come play at our football field under the lights, with the exception of Dell State, in which I have to go through the channels and get that and make that happen because I'm an electrician there.
Yeah.
But no high school, Dover, Caesar Rodney, has never reached out. They won't let you practice. They won't let you use their game field. They won't even let you use their practice field for a game.
Wow.
How is that? We're a nonprofit organization with a 501c. We've force-fed this town's best talent for 27 years. Hands down, it's undeniable. Fact check it.
Yep.
Every year, the best players came through our program, and they've never reached out and done one thing. That's why you never see Coach Ron at a high school football.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad, and they should do better. They should do better. We have no boosters. We have no nut. We get it from the muck every single year. We get it from the mud for these kids. No paid positions. Everything is volunteer. Travel, everything. So shame on them.
And it's definitely a strong foundation. Like, yeah, you're right. Shame on them because they're missing out on something great. They're definitely missing out on something great.
They don't even come down and look at practices. If you were a high school, we talked about it earlier, right? You're talking about the communication skills and the communication with these players that's coming up. Never these coaches come down to our practices and look at our kids. Not once do they come to the games, say, Coach, I'm here. Could I have a word with these kids and just let them know that I'm the coach of Caesar Rodney or Dover, and I would like them to see my face and let them know that I'm out here watching. I'm out here looking at what they're doing. None of that. Nothing. We had one coach from Tatnall, Avery, who used to play, Avery McMullen. He came down. He's the coach for Tatnall. He used to play for the Packers. He came down, and he got Little Bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, in Little Bro, the standard. I call him the standard every year. There's nothing like it. And he got it, and not saying that may be why. I'm sure there's more behind the scenes, but he at least made himself accessible, spoke to the father, seen what we was doing. Look at what you got. One of our best products ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's he's top in the state.
Yeah, he was going crazy this year.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He went crazy.
With far less than other programs have around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Tatnall's a fairly new school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So, there's a lot of pros and cons to everything, but when you weigh it out, some things just don't add up.
Yeah.
They just don't add up. And why? We have conversations from within the camp all the time. Why? Why don't we get this? Why? Is it because of the way we look? Is it because we carry ourselves? Is the dynamics? Is it color of my coach's skin? What is it? What is it that holds things back? It's crazy. We're force feeding. Athletes are athletes.
Yeah.
Period. No matter what color they are, no matter what they are, they're athletes. The best are the best. and we're pushing them through, and we get no reward for it. None.
Yeah, that's wild. It's really sad that it has to be like that, but it get greater. I look at things like it get greater later because the blessing for the Kent County team is definitely going to come for sure.
Oh, I've got my blessing. There isn't no later. The later has already been.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's always something, but the later, what I get from these kids and traveling with them and the parents and the support and winning football games and when everything comes together, that's my payment. I don't get anything else out of it. That's what I get. Being here with somebody you paid for.
Yeah.
We're sitting here. You're making it in life. You're doing bigger things. You're putting this out there to put it out there for the world to see different variations and different things that are going on. And you're bringing light to it.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. You know what I mean?
Sure.
You could be doing so many different things. Here we are. There's my payment right there. Thank you for my paycheck. I appreciate that, baby.
Then it's like, then after a while, it all falls to a whole bunch of what ifs. And it's like, CR is really shame on y'all because y'all could have made a what if come true. What if you could have got all them boys back together for Caesar Rodney? What if you could have got little bro from Tatman for his last year to come show all that Caesar Rodney? You would have had a state championship easily.
You'd have been on your way.
Yeah.
It might not have happened the first year. It might not happen the second, but I can guarantee you wouldn't go defeated.
Yeah, for sure.
I can guarantee you wouldn't go defeated. Everything would be progressive from the first year forward. And then it would build, and it would get back to that football state where everybody knew that if you were going to Caesar Rodney, you were going to be a part of this team, you were going to be a part of this coaching staff, and it was going to be what it is, just the same as we've been doing for 27 years. We've never put out a bad product.
Yeah, never.
You've never heard of our product being bad, and that's from New Jersey all the way down to Florida.
And that's even before the travel ball.
Sure.
The Packers were a dynasty, for sure.
Absolutely. 11 championships.
How many games did you lose? Or you can't remember?
I lost 4 games.
Out of all those years?
Out of all those years.
Wow, that's crazy.
4 games. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Absolutely.
And now you just keep prevailing, elevating. What you got going on? You got the soccer team, you got the hoops going on, and it's just another thing. Like, man, like Coach Ron really love these kids. Like he just send them through different avenues. Like even for example, you may have some football players that they love being around you, but they don't like football, but they excel at soccer. So now you made it a way for these kids, and that's real love. That's real love.
Absolutely.
That's real love.
I just said it 5 minutes ago. An athlete is an athlete.
Yeah.
If you got a true athlete, they're going to be good at soccer. They're going to be good at football. They're going to be good at basketball. They're going to be good at lacrosse. They're going to be good at track. Yeah. They're just going to be good because they're athletic and they have a will to win and compete. As long as you have that, you've got the makings of everything great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Funny story with the soccer is, I ain't never kicked a soccer ball in my life. I never kicked a soccer ball in my life. But my son, Fudd, he still isn't going the football route. Mm. You know what I mean? So am I going to push him into what I do just because I'm a football coach and him hate it and end up hating the game? No. So I didn't try to relive my childhood through my son and make him do something. He's a great athlete. Yeah. Fast, does everything well. He's just not with the football.
You got to be strong to play soccer. That's a lot of running.
Absolutely. And now he just picked up basketball, and ironically, he's doing really good. He's starting point guard for his team, and he understands the game, but he wasn't a football player. So I started a soccer team. Yeah. You know what I mean? I can't give back to thousands of my community kids and not give back to my own. So what did Coach do? I started a travel 2013 competition soccer team. Mm. So we got 9 and 10-year-olds on there, beating some of the powerhouses here in Dover, playing up at the Chase Field House. We're going to New Jersey. We're in Maryland. I'm doing the same thing with that soccer unit that I did with football. So, and they're doing very good. They're doing well, you know. And we don't have soccer players. We've got a few soccer players, but we got football players playing soccer. Yeah. And they're winning because they're athletes. Yeah. Period. Yeah. You know, and then with 7-on-7 flag football, we do flag out there too. Flag was just to introduce ourselves to some of the parents at a younger age so that they, there's a conception about Kent County football that everything is so rough and aggressive.
Yeah.
So we just did the flag football program just to introduce ourselves to the 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old parents so that they could see that we are actual genuine people who are just out there and it don't have to be collision contact sport for us.
Yeah.
And then we gain some of those kids at our younger age brackets because honestly, if we don't have a younger age bracket, we don't have any future.
Yeah.
So we did that for very cheap. And the kids enjoyed it. They got big rings, big rings at the end for the championship.
Yeah.
You would have thought it was $1 million ring. They don't know no better. And then with 7-on-7 team harm, for many people who don't know it, the harm comes from Deron Harmon, who gives back to the program.
Shout out to him.
Absolutely. Doing big things, championships, Super Bowl rings. I mean, he's the pinnacle of what you can be from this area.
Yeah.
And you talk about somebody to look up to, there's the king of it for Dover, right?
Yeah.
Let's be honest. But that's why we call it Team Harm for Harmon. Now we open that up to 8 years old through 18.
Yeah.
And those kids are lit.
Yeah, I seen the highlights from last season. They're real. They're real deal.
Oh, yeah. And that's a wonderful thing for them because they get the football is so restricted. You can't celebrate. You can't do certain things.
Yeah.
They're out there. They get to wear the goggles,
Pajamas.
Yeah. You know what I mean? They can wear whatever they want. They can celebrate. They can do the end zone celebration. So it's good. It's good. Not to mention they're learning how to throw and defend the pass and catch the ball and run routes and hurry up offense. I mean, I'm not a coach in that. My crew coaches all that, but if you go to one of them games, they literally, I don't know what the time frame is, but they got like 12 seconds.
Yeah, you got to.
I mean, you got to go fast.
And what is it? 5 seconds as the time when you hike it?
Yeah, I think I don't even know if it's 5. I think it might be 4. But I mean, it's just a fast pace, so they're definitely acclimating those kids to a hurry up offense and defend the hurry up offense. So it's good. Plus, those kids are wild.
Yeah, they wild boys. Yeah. And it's like, I look at that and be like, yo, I don't think my group would survive 7-on-7 because we would have been hit. You wouldn't be able to catch no ball and then you go push you down like, what are you doing? And then it's like, with that, like with the group there, it's like that group that we're talking about, Caesar Rodney, once again, shame on you. You could have had all of them on one team. Not just celebrating the Harmony, but one team, high school, rock.
Not to put nobody out there, but some of this area's top talent, 9th, 10th graders, was they as Coach Prime said, the transfer portal was going to go nuts this week. And I think Caesar Rodney probably feared that too.
Yeah.
From little tidbits of information we got, like they feared that too.
Mm-hmm.
They really feared some of those kids coming over there because they were the best of the best. But I think that they believe that with that, for lack of better terms, riffraff was coming along with it.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because they had literally 6 or 8 kids that I know of personally that was getting ready to come, and they're game changers, absolute game changers.
Yeah.
Once again, I don't even want to talk about that situation no more. We've hit it. It's a sore subject around here today. We hit all the key points, but now we're just picking open a scab.
Yeah.
Because now what's going to happen next year when things don't go their way? You know what I mean? It's almost too late now.
Yeah.
It's too late. Now we don't feel wanted.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but in their mind, they made the best decision for Caesar Rodney. I hope it was.
Yeah. And we can't get off here without this, man. You know you the man around here. TikTok going crazy.
Oh, man.
TikTok going crazy. Yeah.
Here we go.
TikTok going crazy.
So
what got you and your wife started on TikTok?
COVID.
Okay.
Being in the house, bored, can't go out, can't do nothing. And, TikTok originally is like a kids platform.
Yeah.
Kids was on there dancing. Kids are doing their thing. It's really, I think it was designed for the kids.
Yeah.
But I don't know how it happened. For the first year, I was totally against it.
Yeah.
My wife would have to catch me on candid situations, and I would just run from the camera. But, I saw how it brought our family together, how, a lot of today's society, you look around, you got one on the phone over here. You could be sitting in the living room with 5 of your family members, and y'all not say nothing to each other for 35 minutes, right? It's just the reality of things. And you look around, and it's right here. So my wife ended up getting on there, and I don't, man, trust me. We asked ourselves all the time, why did she become popular on TikTok?
Yeah.
Right? Is it the dynamics of our family? Is it the interracial relationship? Is it me with tattoos and a beard? Is it the kids that we have? You know, the mixed blended family.
Fud's a show. He's a show. He's a show.
He is the show.
Yeah, he is
the show.
I look at Coach Ron this on there dancing. I'm like, but you'll never, because you always serious. So I was like,
yeah.
Coach Ron on there dancing.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I was so against it, but then I seen the good in it. You know what I mean? I seen how it through when times were so just glowing. And let's be real, right? COVID for 2 years. Life was fucked up.
Yeah.
Like not only were people, hesitant to do certain things and be around other people and the sickness that came along with it.
People were dying.
Yeah, people were stressed. People couldn't leave the house. People couldn't do certain things. You couldn't play sports. You couldn't go to school. Like it was stressful. So within our household, that kind of conjured up and made it gave us something fun.
Mm-hmm.
Some people might sit around and play board games or do family things. We did TikToks together, and it was good. And how it blew up, I don't know. I still don't understand. But it did, and my wife is better for it. Fud's an entertainer. Justice is the dancer. You know what I mean? Everybody's got their little piece. Yeah. And I think it might just intrigue people, with the different, just everything that goes on in my household and the realness of it. Yeah. And then, of course, my wife does reviews for folks, you know what I mean? Like she'll only do small business. She prefers to do small black-owned businesses that are starting up. Yeah. And they'll send her products, and then she'll do it out there. She doesn't charge anything for it, which is really unique because everybody's about $1 in it, right? Yeah, trying to pay for promotion. Trying to get off and capitalize on this or that. She doesn't. She strictly does it for the people. Yeah. And then she goes on there, and we have people that contact her, oh, my God, we sold out just because of you doing the review. And my wife is genuine. That makes her feel wonderful to do certain things like that. You know what I mean? And then, of course, it comes with its little benefits, too. You know what I mean? We get free stuff a lot of times, free clothes, and free candles, free different other products. And it's exciting for us to get little packages and open them up and get different things, right? Everybody has their fun in it. But, she genuinely does that. And I think that just because she wasn't trying to capitalize monetarily through the system of TikTok, people fell in love with it. Yeah. And it's real. I mean, some of the stuff she puts on there is dead, and she don't hold back at all. I'll be on her watching her like, let me tell y'all what's going on this morning. So I'm walking in my office, I'm like, and it can be real. Yeah. A lot of people relate because she don't hold back. Even if it makes us look bad, not bad, but really like things that people wouldn't want to bring to the light for everybody here. Yeah. She's like an open book. She's putting it out there for everybody, and it's all real. Yeah. You know what I mean? So a lot of people can relate. And, luckily she has gotten so many responses or inbox or letters from people who have said through COVID and just in general that her little skits and stuff like that has seen them through some hard times. Yeah. Right? And she loves it. So if she loves it, it makes her happy. I reap the benefits of that. A lot of time I get paid in different ways from TikTok, and I'm with all that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Little rewards for doing little things, you know what I mean? So, but no, I'm not no dancer. Most of the time I tell her and I tell everybody, I'm on there made to look dumb. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I know my role, right? So I play it well. But Fudd is definitely the main character. He's an entertainer, and that's probably because my wife has had a camera in his face ever since he was a baby. Yeah. So we got to wrap this thing up here. So what's next for you in King County for 2023? 2023, the goal is always the same for Kent County. We want every kid in the community to come out and be a part of it. Athletic ability doesn't matter. We're going to take the worst player or the least athletic player, we'll say. We're going to build him up and hold him accountable for something on the football field, right? So the goal never changes. We don't care about league championships. That's a standard. Yeah. Every coach within my organization, that's just the bottom standard. The standard for us and what we shoot for every year is a national championship. Yeah. It's not just to win Delaware, because Delaware, if you're the top team in Delaware, that means you're not shit anywhere else. Yeah. Let's keep it a wrap, right? For sure, yeah. So, but the goal is always national championship. National championship. If we go down to Florida, we make some noise, get in the national championship game. We've been in the main game 5 times now, 5 national championship games. We lost all 5 of them. And it always comes down to depth, the amount of kids that we have. We always have the better kids, the better athletes, but when we're going down there with 18 kids and we're playing a team with 38 kids, it's an uphill battle, and they always get edged out because of the linemen and extra amount of kids. Yeah. So 2023, get your kids signed up, get them off the couch, bring them out. Let's win some football games. Nationals is always the goal.
Okay. And what's next for you for 2023 as Ron Moore, the man, the husband, the father?
To continue to be loyal to my family, to keep my friends close to me, let them know that I'm here for them, and just to keep providing for my household and everybody that considers me a friend, a mentor, a coach, or a family member. Gotcha. Just like it's always been. You know what I mean? If you're close to me, I give everything back.
Gotcha.
And it's always gang. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
If you're part of it, we're going to rock it out. Yeah. And that nothing ever changes. There's nothing I want in life. I've had it all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
And for sure, so on behalf of Untrapped the Podcast, I will be sponsoring 10 kids to play free for the Kent County football team. So Blessings. I want to do that for sure. Blessings. I want to make sure I do that for sure.
And with that, because we always have too many, Kent County's never turned away a kid because of money. It's just something that we won't do. Kids don't make money.
Yeah.
So we never turn away a kid because of financial situations. So if you're going to do that, I'll make sure that you personally will get to meet and greet those 10 kids.
Gotcha.
You can keep up with those kids and see how it changed their life this year.
Gotcha.
All right.
But for sure, if you ever in Dover, you hungry, you on Route 8, pull over, get you some Aunt Mary's.
Best believe I'm getting ready to go get me a platter right now to take home with me.
Coming through Lockerman, get the Aki boxes. If you ever need a video done, Pyrex Vision is the one. Until next time, we out.